So, my younger brother is going to college this August 2015. My mother is asking and expecting me to pay for his college tuition and living costs, even though I'm still paying for my student loans. My older sister, 26, is in her last year of pharmacy school and will graduate this May. Her farm school tuition plus living costs are about $60K per year, and my parents are helping her $40K per year because they don't want her to be in too much debt when she graduates. She went to a private university far away from home, and her undergrad and the cost was $30K per year, which my parents were paying for it entirely. I went to a public university close to home, 20 minutes, for my undergrad, where I got very good scholarships that I have extra money left, plus I have a part-time job. My mother is a stay-at-home mom, and my dad has a decent-paying job. Background: my mother always compares me versus my sister ever since we were young. My sister and I are very different personality-wise and look-wise. During my teen years, I suffered from cystic acne for 7 years, and I have scoliosis, so when I walk, I limp a little. My mother and my sister would constantly verbally tease me during my teen years about my acne and scoliosis. Therefore, I wasn't very confident with myself, and I usually look down when talking with someone. After a while, it becomes a habit. One time, her friend came to visit and asked why I always look down and why I limp when I walk. My mother said it's because I have a lot of acne, and I choose to walk that way. It is partially true that I like to look down, but I didn't choose to walk like that. Because of my scoliosis, one of my legs is shorter than the other, and when I try to walk straight, it hurts. I explained that, and she ignored me. After that, I rarely come out of my room or attend any event with my family. The past 2 to 3 years, I have been acne-free, and it was a boost to my confidence. Last Christmas, I went to the family gathering at my uncle's house, and a lot of my relatives couldn't recognize me. They were giving me compliments, until my mom went ballistic. She started yelling at me that it's because I'm selfish, and I don't care about anyone, and that is why I didn't attend any family gatherings, hence why they can't recognize me. I was extremely humiliated, cried, and left. My mother has always had a strong bond with my sister. They do many mother-daughter activities that I'm left out of. When I started graduate school and my tuition was $40K per year, I asked my parents for help financially with living costs because I know they can't afford sisters and my tuition at the same time. My mother got angry and started saying that I'm selfish because I only care about myself, that I don't think for my sister's future, and I enjoy making my parents feel inadequate for being poor. So I took out student loans and never asked for any help again. But my mother didn't stop there. She told my sister the story, and my sister went off on me, calling me a spoiled princess because I went through undergrad being debt-free, so I'm more fortunate than most of the population out there. Therefore, now it's time for me to live in the real world. I graduated with 2 master's degrees last year and was very fortunate to land a good job. I also moved out with my longtime boyfriend who paid off my student loan for me, so I don't have to pay interest. Now I'm paying my student loans to him by monthly payments, and we're saving up for our wedding in September next year and a nice house. Now, this is where the story is connected. Last Saturday, my mother approached me and told me that since my parents helped me out by letting me stay at home during my undergrad, now, to pay back the favor, I have to pay for my brother's college education. She also said I should pay my sister's debt when she graduates so that she doesn't have to pay high interest. I asked her if my brother and sister will pay me back that money when they started working, and she got mad at me for being calculating toward my own siblings. She started calling me names and told me that I'm ungrateful, selfish, and that she knows I've always hated and am jealous of my sister because she is better looking, smarter, and people like her more. I told her that I'm jealous of my sister because she always has been the favorite child, not because she is better looking, smarter, or people like her more, but I don't hate her. I also reminded my mother that when I worked part-time in undergrad, I sent that money to my sister monthly so that she could have extra money to spend, and that I don't have enough money to pay for my brother's college tuition and my sister's debt. My mother told me that with my boyfriend and my income, we should be able to do that. I told her that is not right because it's my boyfriend's money, and neither she nor I have the right to tell him what he should do with it. She said that she is not coming to my wedding and will kick me out of the family, and all of my relatives will do the same. She called me on Wednesday to come pick up my pictures from the family album, and when I got there, she was cutting up my baby pictures and telling me my sister is always the favorite child because she is not selfish and she has always listened to my parents. I told her that she verbally assaulted me in the past because of my acne and the way I walked for years, but I've always listened and never talked back to her about it. Then she said it's because of my ugly personality and that I deserve to have those things happen to me, and she wished she had suffocated me when I was a baby. I've been crying for the past few days, and I don't know what to do when my own family won't even come to my wedding. Should I negotiate with my mother about paying half of my brother's tuition? No, you shouldn't. Your mother does not love you like your sister and brother. It is a hard truth, but you need to realize nothing you do will make her like you more. She is hurtful, and for whatever reason, has turned you into the whipping post. You will never get the acceptance you want. You will never have a relationship with her. You will never have the family you want or need. So you have to make your own. Do not pay your brother's tuition. Save your money. Send her an invitation to the wedding, and if she chooses not to come, then that is on her. Edit. Changed my mind. Make a cardboard cutout of her and have guests throw darts at it instead. But as of this moment, you have to accept you don't matter to her and never will. Your sister will never love you or respect you in a healthy way. Do not send these people any more money. Do not offer to get them out of debt, because the moment you run out of money is the moment your value is gone. So please, get some therapy, cut contact, and move on. Your mom told you to your face that she wished she K'd you as a baby, and you're still debating if you should bend to her will and sacrifice thousands of dollars just because she told you to do so. You're 25. Read that and let it sink in for a minute. You're brainwashed from years of You've left home and you're independent. You won the long game. If you want it to be so, your mom can be nothing but a stranger from here on out. You do not need that poison in your life. Blood be damned. If she had her way, it sounds like she'd make you her slave for life, long into your adulthood. When are you going to choose to end it? Duck your mom and your sister. Don't give her a cent. Well, title is the summary. My son was a very lucky man when he married his soon-to-be ex-wife, and I don't think he realized that. She was very pretty and intelligent, and her and my son just worked so well together. They dated for a good 7 or so years before getting married. They had a beautiful relationship, and if two people were meant to be together, I would think it would be them. They were very alike in their interests and seemed very in love for most of their relationship. They were even born just a day apart from each other. By the time they got married, our family considered his ex-wife family. She called me mom, and my ex-husband, I'm divorced and remarried, but on good terms with my ex-husband, dad. She lived with my husband and I for a year with my son, and we just all loved her. She was polite and helped out with the chores. I really thought of her as one of my own. Once her and my son graduated college, they moved out of our house and into their own apartment. But this was solely because of her work ethic. I know this is wrong to say, but my son is a failure. He did good in high school, only by being smart. But by the time college came around and he had to actually work, he failed classes over and over. He was on a fast track to flunking out, but my son's ex-wife kept him in school pretty much. She gave him a direction and made a plan with him, but even then it was only by the skin of his teeth that he graduated. But he graduated with terrible grades, an English degree, no work experience, not even crap summer jobs, and no prospect of work. She, on the other hand, graduated with a computer science degree, with honors, worked her way through college, had internships, and was able to have a good job upon graduation. The job was so well-paying that she paid for pretty much everything. My son only worked part-time retail jobs, claiming his full-time job was being a writer and taking care of their apartment, chores, etc. But he hasn't made a lick of progress in his portfolio, and I know the majority of their chores were automated with Roombas and Amazon Fresh and what have you. So he literally just had to do the laundry, load and unload the dishwasher, and make dinner. Even then, he failed. Toward the end of their marriage, my daughter-in-law quietly confided in me that she was having a hard time with him. My son has a nasty temper and will lash out at us when asked to do literally anything. We thought that she just had the special touch, or joked she was the whisperer for our son, because he didn't do that with her, or so we thought. He hadn't been doing the laundry to where she would have to wear dirty clothes to her job, back when she went into the office, and oftentimes she had to cook dinner for them and do the dishes. She told me that she has been trying to talk to him and that she really needed him to start pulling his weight, but he would lash out at her to the point where she would cry. I told her I would talk to him. Well, I didn't get the chance to. Turns out, my son has been cheating on his wife. I don't have the details about what exactly happened or how she found out, just that he cheated on her and she wants a divorce. She's kicked him out, and rightly so, and is keeping their 2 cats. Now he lives with my husband and I. That's where I'm at. I'm so furious at him for spoiling a beautiful relationship by being a selfish child. My son has repeatedly said that what he did was wrong and selfish, and that it wasn't his wife's fault at all. But now he's quit his job and is holed up in his old room. My husband and I told him that if he's going to live with us, he needs to have a job, or at least be looking for one. He hasn't been, and yells at us and curses us out whenever we ask him. We also told him that he needs to help with the house chores because we are starting to get old, and also he ducking lives here now. Nope. Dishes are piled up for days until they are molding. If we ask him, again, we get the yelling, stomping. Occasionally he breaks some of our dinnerware. So what the duck do we do? As a mother, I can't just kick my own son on the streets during a pandemic. But at the same time, this behavior isn't acceptable. As a person, I'm so furious at him I can hardly stand it, and I suppose I'm mad at myself. I see a grown brat that has never had to face the consequences of his actions. We paid for his college so he didn't have to work through school, and his ex-wife put up with him after college. I know I must have ducked up somewhere as a parent for him to have turned out like this. We are at the point where we might just have to kick him out. It feels like a heartless decision, but what else can we do? We have told him to find a job or he's going to be kicked out, but up till now, that has been an empty threat. Maybe it's time to let him feel the consequences of his actions. I don't know. I'm at my wits. Ma'am, that was painful to read. Yes, your son is a failure in so many ways. Even if he didn't cheat, his marriage would likely have crumbled anyway. Part of the reason he turned out to be such a failure is because he was coddled and enabled by his wife. Don't get me wrong, she sounds like she is a far, far better wife than he deserved, and it isn't his wife's fault. 100% of the blame lies with him. So now you have a man with an English degree, not the most useful of degrees, and at 30 years old, has no work history. His employment prospects are going to be awful. But be that as it may, that coddling and enablement has to stop. He needs the tough love he didn't get, and for you to tell him he either needs to start helping out around the house and get a job, or to get the duck out, even if it means he's sleeping in his car. You say that you can't throw him out in the middle of a pandemic, but here's the thing. The reason your son turned out the way he did is on account of people not having the guts to stand up to his BS, and he knows it. He knew it with his wife until he ducked up and got caught cheating, and he knows it with you. So as long as he knows that you don't have the guts to tell him to shape up or ship out, he's got no reason at all not to do exactly what he wants. I mean, his wife wasn't able to get him to contribute or work. Now you expect to. Why? What are you willing to do that she wasn't? You even say it yourself. A grown brat that has never had to face the consequences of his actions. Yet here you sit. You decry your situation, while also yourself failing to force him to face the consequences of his actions. He's yelling at you, cursing you, smashing your dinnerware in tantrums, and he still sits there, eating your food, drinking your drink, and watching you clean his plates and serve him. Lady, you've got to stop ducking around and get serious. Do what Dr. Phil would suggest. Give him a list of things he has to comply with, or he has to move out by a certain date. If he doesn't comply, you have to kick him out. Dude is 30, cheated on his wife, mooches off parents without a job. Correct me if I'm wrong. Gets mad at parents who provide for him, and acts out and then pouts like a child. To be honest, the thing that pushes this over the edge is him cheating, and also taking advantage of his ex. God bless that woman who tolerated so much. I acknowledge, as a father and husband, that a lot of things that were singularly mine before just aren't. Wife steals my clothes. Wife and kids steal my food. Kids steal my phone. I'm fine with it, most of the time. But I just needed one thing to myself without hurting feelings and making someone cry because everybody is sensitive in this house, including me. I bought a single-serve piece of cake and ate it in my car without any wife sneaking bits or kids licking the chocolate from the top. Unfortunately, got caught. Wife is upset with me for going so far as to eat cake while hiding in my car and called me dramatic when I told her my reasoning. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, but rookie mistake. Next time, eat it in the parking lot of where you bought it and use the outside trash can to throw away the evidence. Source: my ex tried to eat everything I bought. Not the a-hole. Next time, eat it in the grocery store parking lot and throw the trash away there too. Burn the receipt. Destroy all evidence.